So I'm live, apparently. I can't see me. Can anybody else see me? Hello? Oh, yeah, there I am. Ah. Just buffering. Buffering makes me angry. It's not about video games, it's buffering that makes me angry. We'll just make sure that's working. Just buffering. Yeah, there we go. Hello, those who've joined. Just turning on live chat. Live chat. I don't know who's here. Say hello if you are here. If you go to there's a chat function, live chat, turn that on. I'll be able to see who's here and you'll be able to comment. That'll be lovely. Apologies for being here as Facebook Live is not playing ball this evening. I've spent half an hour trying, so not quite sure what the problems are there. So apologies for the inconvenience. So I'm now just going to pull up the screens. Somebody else has joined. I can see there's 3 of us watching. Hurrah! After my triumph being a meeting with my phone on gaffer tape last night, I have technologically gone even further downhill by not being able to get onto Facebook Live, which is a problem at their end, not mine. So there we are, just waiting for this slide to get its butt into full screen. So please do say hello, because unlike Facebook, it doesn't tell me who's watching. So using the live chat function, please say hello. I'll show you where it is. I shall type hello. Yellow, no, yellow. Cool, welcome. So tonight, facebook.com Metal Methodist is on YouTube. Rev James Morley, apologies. Welcome, welcome, bienvenue. Big up to anybody in Lancaster watching up in the Northwest. And also, I want to talk about a band from Lancaster tonight, a band called Witch Hazel. I'll talk more later, but pretty darn impressive, and they've got a new album coming out. So, yeah, stay tuned. Tonight's question from the Metal Methodist Way of Life is from the subject learning and caring. And the question is, how are you caring for yourself? Just aware that certainly those in the Northwest, us here in South Yorkshire. South Yorkshire? What? That's not a South Yorkshire accent. Yeah, are in tier 3 or will be imminently. If you're already in it, what's it like? How do you feel about it? What are the implications for us in terms of how we care for ourselves in order that we might also continue to care for each other? So while we ponder that question, here is some gentle headbanging for tonight. Behold the cathedral organ as it echoes around the sanctuary. Some bass harmonics.
doom-laden riff.
So how are we? Let us gather. Yeah. Get ready for Hugh.
As moon rises, the sun slips sight. Begins the ritual of this night. For those convinced their path is right. Gathered from north, south, east and west, yet called at another's behest, those treading the path that is left. From near and far, come as you are to this place and embrace this space as darker hue embraces you. Of water, spirit, earth and fire, confessing the sins of empire, we come with our wounds and desire. Sensing that we are not alone, drawn to the flame that guides us home, for here, you, me and yet to be. Importance and signs of these times, for the sake of all those maligned, is yet the home of the divine.
Tritold doom for technology that doesn't work. Moo ha ha ha.
So, following the Ignatian way, we look back upon today. I made that rhyme. I wasn't expecting to that time. We look back, we examine the day. I wonder, where have those moments of joy and life-giving been, for which we want to say Tusen tak, Norse for 1,000 thank yous. Where are those moments? I wonder. those things that have taken us out of ourselves, given us a glimpse of something other, bigger, that we might call the divine, the ground of our being, God. As we think about that, the other night when we were chatting with Paul from Nordic Mission, www.nordicmission.net, home of fantastic metal store, metal label, and Christian metal label, and the amazing Nordic Fest, with some incredibly heavy bands. He was saying that he's a big fan of currently listening to this album. This is Adorned Graves, German band, from the album Being Towards the River. And so some words for our Tusentag section, as we think about things that we want to say, awesome dude, for these words. I am the river, I am the stream. Come all ye brooks, flow towards me. Together we are floating together to the sea. By water we're bonded, by spirit inweaved. United resistance, the task of life. And so, as you just draw to mind those things that have made you go, yeah, cool, today, some joyous music. I hope you have some Tusentag. But also there have been stuff, I'm sure, in today that has sucked. Either stuff that we've experienced, stuff we're aware of in the world. Maybe if you're in those areas that have just gone in, or it's been announced today that you're going into tier 3, that might be some of it. But things across the world as well, or things that we wish we'd done differently, not done, said, not said, all those things, where we can lay them down. And as we do, some words from the amazing Demon Hunter, from the song I Will Fail You, I think it's called. These words: through the sorrow, though the sorrow and fear may leave you today, I will fail you, of that I'm sure. I will remind you of the pain forevermore. And when my sins are just a memory of faith restored, I will fail you to the core. So we all stand in need of grace. Hello, Tim. You found me. Awesome, dude. Thank you. That's more Tusentag. Tim Founders. Brilliant. Just to say, I will upload this back to facebook.com/Metal Methodist and do a replay as a watch party in a bit. Sorry. Complete shambles trying to get on Facebook Live. Wouldn't let me do it direct, wouldn't let me do it as a custom streaming service. It was not happy. So another Facebook Zoom problem going on. But those stuff that we want to let go of from today, we can do that. Reminded that, despite our best efforts, we struggle to do the things we know that would be good. And we fall into doing the things we know or that we wish we didn't do or say. So we can offer it by saying the principalities and will to power, the words from worms from within my own darkest hour. I confess all the regress and the regrets, the burdens and the fears, the lament and the tears, whether physical or COVID related. We lay them down And Jesus says, come to me, all you who are weary, and I will give you rest. So may that rest be yours, and that refreshment, and that grace, and that healing, and that, grace, it just keeps giving. It's the gift, undeserved gift that keeps on giving. And tomorrow is a new day. So hear that, hold on to it. Facebook, not live. Is that Facebook dead? Yes. This is an ex-Facebook. This Facebook has fallen off its server. A reading for tonight. Reading, of course, from the Metal Bible, www.metalbible.international.com. Thank you, Carl Johannes Johnson. So this is a reading from Luke chapter 24. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Work that fat until it's gone. Luke 24, 17 to 32. It's a big one. This is part of after the death of Jesus, and this is the story of some of his friends and followers who are kind of probably out of fear, in case they also get arrested and crucified, are on the way back home to a village called Emmaus. And they're walking and they're talking, and a stranger comes along, and the stranger asks them, what are you discussing so intently as you walk along? What they were discussing in tents, I don't know. They stopped short, sadness written across their faces. Then one of them, Cleopas, replied, you must be the only person in Jerusalem who hasn't heard about all the things that have happened there the last few days. What things? Jesus asked. The things that happened to Jesus, the man from Nazareth. He was a prophet who did powerful miracles, and he was a mighty teacher in the eyes of God and all the people. But our leading rulers and the other religious leaders handed him over to be condemned to death, and they crucified him. We had hoped he was the Messiah, the one from God, come to rescue our people. And this all happened 3 days ago. Then some women from our group, from his followers, were at the tomb early this morning, and they came back with an amazing report. They said his body was missing, and they'd seen angels who told them Jesus is alive. Some of our men ran out to see, and sure enough, his body was gone, just as the women had said. And then they go inside, and they offer this stranger a bed for the night, and hospitality, and food and drink. So Jesus, who they don't know is Jesus at this point, goes home with them. They sat down to eat. He took the bread and blessed it, then he broke it and gave it to them. Suddenly, in that action, their eyes were opened. They recognized Jesus. At that moment, he disappeared. They said to each other, didn't our hearts burn within us as he talked with us on the road and explained the scripture to us? And within the hour, they were on their way back to Jerusalem. They found the other 11 disciples and the others who were gathered with them, who said, the Lord has really risen. He appeared to Peter. So I share that as we're thinking about caring for ourselves. Just because that is a story of ups and downs, isn't it? I just had a horrible thought. I need to go and wash my brain out with fairy liquid. I just thought life is a roller coaster. Just gotta ride it, as Ronan Keating once said. I might edit this afterwards and take that out. Oh dear. Anyway, it's ups and downs, particularly at this time during coronavirus. Cases going down, things start to open, cases go up, things start to close. You're in this tier, now you're in this tier. We don't know how long for. What does it mean? All of those things. So again, with our question for tonight from the Methodist Way of Life. Not that question, I forgot to put it back in, never mind. But how are we caring for each other? When we are down, it said that sorrow was written on their faces in that reading. When sorrow is written and etched upon your soul, how do you care for yourself? How do we care for each other? when it says later, and I think our hearts burn when he talked to us, and within the hour they've gone straight back to Jerusalem. All the tiredness, whatever, it's gone. They're on a high. They're going straight back. And when we're on that high, how do we care for ourselves so that we don't kind of burn out? I guess is what I'm wondering. Yeah, Tim, just the best gospel story. Hope, even in the darkest places, even the darkest of Mr. Ronan Keating. Yeah, that's pretty dark. So how do we care for ourselves? I'm aware that perhaps not everybody has found us here on YouTube. So perhaps when I replay this as a watch party after I've finished recording it, and we can discuss more there. But I guess my prayer is that, as part of the commitment that we make, following the metal Methodist way of life, is to recognize that, as Psalm 24 says, the earth is the Lord's and everything in it, Genesis 1. Male and female in God's image, God created humanity. So each of us are made in God's image. Therefore, we are important. We are precious, and therefore, in order to honor God, even if we don't feel we are worth honoring, taking care of ourselves is part of our call and our commitment that we make, as well as caring for each other. So how might we do that? My prayer is, thinking about the time that Jesus took time out, went for a walk, or went for a boat ride. You don't ride in a boat, do you? Journey, trip, I don't know, out on the lake, just chilling in the sun, or went and hung out with people. So stuff on your own, stuff with us, however we're able to do that at this time. But those things that are life-giving, that refresh us, that rejuvenate our souls, so that through that caring for ourselves, we are able, as Jesus did, then to go and give out again and care for others. I pray that you will find ways of doing those things, whatever it is for you, but that you might see it as something that's really important. A kind of, even if you don't think that you're worthy of it, God says you're worthy, or at least do it to honor God. Whatever reason you need to see that you are amazing and awesome and wonderfully made and unique and valued and worth dying for, literally. Do those things that take care of you so that you can take care of others. Hello, Leslie, you found us too. Awesome. Sorry, because I started late because of technology. I'm running into Melissa Quinn's Bible study on her Facebook page. So apologies, Leslie. Apologies, Melissa. We'll be back on Facebook later, Leslie. Thank you, Tim. Being challenged by a podcast today that we are grieving our connection with nature. In this most digital time, I need to care for myself by getting outside, fresh air, open views, gardening, etc. Yeah, I hear that. I think I've said it before when explaining why my second Metal Bible t-shirt was an extra large, not a large like the first, because I'd kind of I'd grown out of it front ways. But here, walking every day and proper going out in the Peak District, up things on my day off, and perhaps haven't done that and feel that, the physical thing. But actually, in terms of my soul, and there's something about different perspectives, isn't there? And something maybe about the simplicity of nature, or it kind of takes care of itself. It does take care of itself in every sense of that word, that phrase. And yes, we tend it and care for it and nurture it. And in that, we are perhaps caring and tending and nurturing for ourselves. Interesting. Yeah. But I like the idea that, I suppose, so confession time, as well as being a massive metal fan, I'm trying to find the Venn diagram where these interests cross over. I'm also a lover of fountain pens. Behold the iconic Lamy 2000. Same design since the 1960s. One of these is in the New York Museum of Modern Art, such as is its iconic Bauhaus design. But anyway, sorry, I've got off on fountain pens and I can't remember why I started that. That was it. Because I was watching the guy who waffles on about, talks in very informed ways, very clever, about about fountain pens and saying, there is a move back to that sort of those tactile things that are analog, and perhaps that's part of it as well, of touch and connection, in many different ways, and how that is good for our soul. Hello, Rachel. Well done. Awesome that people are finding us. I will put this back on Facebook when we've finished, and we can perhaps, if you want to watch it again, we can have a bit more of an interactive chat there. Whoops. So, are there people, things, situations that we want to pray for, and show our care for to God, and ask that God might nudge us about how we can care for ourselves and each other, especially if you are being affected by changes in COVID tiers where you live. I just pray for all my colleagues, really, and all that they are carrying, both personally and in ministry. Continue to pray for Johannes and the metalbibleInternational.com, for Marcus and for Paul at nordicmission.net, for Jeanette at Metal House One Ministries and Christian Metalheads Facebook group. Again, all these are the ways that, for those of us who love metal, provide ways of caring for ourselves in terms of putting on something that lets you go, or jump around if that's what you need to do, but also connecting with other people and sharing, those passions. And if metal ain't your thing, that's all right. Connect with the people who have similar passions, as long as you're facing away from each other wearing a mask. Oh, thank you, Tim. I will take care of me too. Thank you, mate. Yeah, thanks for the prayers for us in Sheffield. And pray that in the Methodist Church's life, we're into that stage where people whose time and a particular appointment, a particular context of ministry is coming to an end, and they are looking to move on, and other places are looking to welcome people, and the process of discernment and the responsibility for those with that responsibility in the Methodist system, so particularly chairs of districts and volunteers who serve in that what we call stationing process, so matching presbyters, ministers, vicars, if you like, to groups of churches and circuits, as we call them, that are looking for one. And the impact, obviously, on moving and what that means if you've got family, particularly, as well, living with you at home in terms of children, school, all those sorts of things. That just carrying that responsibility, especially at a time of like this, where you perhaps can't visit places like the way you'd want to and get a feel for them, all those things, and that process. And pray that Facebook and Zoom might start talking to each other again soon. As my colleague, the Venerable Wayne Grucott, will testify, we had a couple of interesting conversations before last, going, it's not working, why is it not working? Is it just me? No, it's me too. Right, okay, what's wrong? It's working for you. Why is it working for you now? But always at the moment when you're about to actually go live with something, hey ho. And I think we've focused a bit on what's happening here in the UK, but just thinking getting close to the American election, but also how particularly COVID is affecting other countries, and again, as in this country, the most vulnerable. So giving thanks for Tim and Matt and Dean and Graham and all at All We Can and their partner organisations in those different countries. And again, allwecan.org is a place where you can care for others by supporting their work. So let's offer these prayers, spoken and unspoken. and the ones that we might be offering when we watch this again on Facebook, to the one in whom all people and all creation have their being, may your kingdom come, your will be done, as above, so below. Sustain us for this day. Show us grace, as we seek to show grace. There she is. To those we feel have wronged us. Save us from the worst that is within us and within this world. For the kingdom, the power, and the glory are yours now and forever. Amen. Thanks for the plug, Tim. I'm rubbish at emojis. I don't know how you do it. I can just about manage a thumbs up. That's quite impressive. So I mentioned at the beginning, I wanted to particularly say hello to people in the Northwest, particularly just connected recently with some people in Lancaster. I love Lancaster. It is where I went to university. And but being born in Manchester, I'm doing penance as a minister, serving in West Yorkshire and now South Yorkshire circuit. Big love to all up Northwest, especially at this time. But I want to talk about a band from Lancaster called Witch Hazel. That's WYTCH Hazel. You know, when you discover a band, if I was talented enough to be in a band and write music, I'd want it to be kind of this and that and have this to it, and then you discover a band that's kind of doing it, and oh wow, it's like you've reached into my head and gone, aha, you mean like this. So I don't want to over describe it because I'd much rather people go and discover it. So I should put some links to some of their stuff on here on YouTube, Rev James Morley, under the Metal Compline, the playlist. No. I'll put some stuff for their links to their stuff on YouTube there. But yeah, lyrically amazing, vocally amazing, guitar riffage and also sort of leads amazing, and just that kind of fat sound for clarity of bass cutting through, the sound on the drums, that is, it's a certain vintage to the sound. I don't mean the sort of like, some throwbacks or anything, because they're not, but it's just got the sort of drum sound that has been missing from metal for a while, and just reminds me of the first Iron Maiden album I bought, and hearing, I think it was Nico McBrain's first album with them, so it was Number of the Beast, I think, and just the sound on that Martin Farmer Birch, may you rest in peace, sir, got on that. It's got that sort of tonal quality to it. But yeah, also, and what I love most of all, there's a slightly sort of historical element to it, and so it, just rekindles in me my love of Richard Carpenter's Robin of Sherwood from the 1980s. And as we know, Robin Hood was not a legend. He was a real person. He didn't wear tights. He wore hose. I too do not have tights. I have historically accurate replica hose. But also, when I was a member of a sort of historical reenactment group, although we were sort of Saxon Viking, early Norman type figure, but they're a bit, their history is a bit later than that. But it's just all of that in a sort of religious-y bundle of joy. So do check them out. I'll drop a link in later on. But very excited as their new album, Pentecost. So there's been Prelude, Sojourn, and Pentecost is the new album. It's coming out on 30th of October. If you go to search Witch Hazel on Facebook or Witch Hazel Band, you'll find them. And they've got some pre-orders on for their new album with bundles of t-shirts and hats and bags and all sorts of stuff, as well as other stuff, or search on Bandcamp, and you can download digitally from there. Obviously, buying it. But yeah, have a listen, see what you think, and it'd be good to support a British band. Yeah, it's awesome. All the stuff coming out of, particularly, there's always been a lot of kind of Christian type metal in America, but certainly through Nordic Mission and elsewhere, giving a bit of a platform to those Nordic and Scandinavian bands who are equally awesome. But it's good to find some British bands as well. And actually, if you're into British kind of metal, if you're a fan of Stairway, you will like Witch Hazel. It's not like they sound the same by any means, but it's there's a lineage there, if you see what I mean. So anyway, I'll stop going, oh, it's amazing. So let's sorry, I've forgotten. Sorry, the purpose of starting on that was to preface our sending with these words, which are taken from the song "We Will Be Strong" by Witch Hazel. Strength, yeah. So I'm just showing this as we think, whether it's just where we're at with the COVID situation, stuff in your personal life, stuff when you look at the world around you, stuff going on in other countries, and if it's all on those moments where it all gets a bit much and it weighs us down, and maybe it takes us down from that high into that kind of low place, these words that we I think God offers to us, and maybe through God we can offer to each other through spaces like this. Strength is in thee and thy mighty hand. We will be found in truth. No, we will be. Oh yeah. We will be found with truth as our belt, so we can stand firm. We will be strong. Sorry, that's my fault. I wrote this out by hand and I can't read my own writing. So yeah, we will be strong. We will continue to be strong in the Lord and through each other as God works through us, to keep on keeping on, not just so we can get through, but actually so we can still be part of the transformative work that God is doing through day by day, through little acts of kindness and loving kindness that you do that you probably don't realize, that each of us do in our own little way, bit by bit. The kingdom that is to come is coming into being, so we can say to each other that may the peace of the all parents be ours this night and in the time that is and yet still to come, but it's coming, with all people and all creation, because it will be. Amen. So, right, I'm going to download this and try and chuck it back up on facebook.com/Metal Methodist. I will do a watch party if anybody's missed it and wants to join. That's cool. If you want to have some further chat about stuff, that's fine. Just turn it down and we'll chat away. It's cool. Yeah. So I make it the time when the Right Reverend Right, that's Darcy, D''Darcy, would say, let blisters and others, let us sway. Witch Hazel, check out the bands with Hazel. Witch Hazel, Witch Hazel. Check out the band called Witch Hazel from Lancaster here in the UK. They're very good.